Hi everyone, I've got an exciting one for you today, so welcome to my channel. I want to talk to you about the law of attraction, setting up a vision board or a life plan, getting your dreams out on paper or onto your computer, and then how you can make your dreams become a reality now, immediately. When I put my vision board together, I had things on there like I want to live in a forest house and I want to be surrounded by woodland and hear the birds singing and just have that whole ambience of the forest. And I put on there that I would like to travel the world. I would like to write a book, and I wanted to get fit. I wanted to start running, go hiking, spend more time in nature, have a canal boat, go all over in my camper van, and all of these other things. And writing my vision board down in a list allowed me to see the things that I really wanted and how I wanted my time to be spent for myself. And I had things in there like I want more time with my family, which we all do, and I wanted less time working but still earning enough money. So when the vision board was put into place, I could see the things that I could focus on, but I could also see the distractions in my life that had nothing to do with my dream life. So it allowed me to move away from the things that were distracting me and holding me back. And then I was thinking, right, if I get my book published or if I can earn more money, I can afford to buy this house in the forest and I can afford to buy a canal boat. And it was all, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that. And owning things is actually not very pleasurable. When you own something, you've got to look after it, maintain it. You're worried about someone stealing it, and it just takes your precious time away from you, and that's the precious time you want to spend with your family. So the fact is, you don't need to own anything to experience the same feeling or even better of a feeling than someone who owns it all. So stick with me on this one. So I'm here now, I'm in the forest and it's beautiful. This is my experience. I'm enjoying my time in the forest, and I can sleep in my bed and I can have my lunch here. I can spend all day here, and whilst I'm in this forest is mine because it's my experience. I realised that I could go and stay in the forest. I could go and book cabins in the forest and have 5-night stays and wake up every morning, go onto my balcony. And out of season, these cabins are really, really cheap. So, and not only could I rent a cabin, I could rent cabins in forests all over the world. And owning one means that I'm just fixed in that one place. So it's made me realise that I don't want to own a forest house. And if I can rent and go and stay in a forest house right now, or I can pull up in my camper van, you can pull up in your car and pop up a tent and spend the day at the forest. I can have the forest now. If I want to, if I wanted to have a Lamborghini, for example, which I don't, I could have a Lamborghini now. I could rent a Lamborghini. I could hire a Lamborghini. I could drive it around for a month. It probably cost me about £2,000. And I would probably really enjoy the experience. But it is all about the experience. So if you add up your dream life in financial costs, you can see on paper how much your dream life would cost in total, and you might be surprised that your dream life is not actually that much. Some people just want to go to a lake, and they will say, oh, I want to live on a lake, I want to own a lake. Go and stay on lakes, go and visit them and stay on them all over the world, but just rent them. You don't have to have the experience of owning to have your dream life now. So I looked at the things on my vision board that I actually can have now. So for example, I can run now, I can get fit now, but I have to take a step in that direction. I can write a book, but I have to put pen to paper, so I have to take these small steps in the direction of my dream. I can go hiking. And here's where the magic happens. When it comes to earning money, look at how you can align your joy with earning money. So, if I look after my grandchild and I have him for a couple of days, I can align my family time, my family experience into the blissful experiences on my vision board. So I can go hiking with family, I can come to the forest, go camping, have picnics, and I can line that up. I can also try to line up my job with my work. So what I've done is the book that I've written has turned into workshops and courses, so I can charge for those workshops and courses. So I'm doing the things that I love, I'm inspiring people, trying to enrich people's lives, and at the same time I'm able to earn a living. So once you start to align yourself into the area where you find joy, you start to make your work part of your vision board. And if you absolutely hate your job and it's just not something that you want to do, you can look at what would your dream job be and start to gradually move in that direction, even offering something for free. So in the beginning, I would offer people nutritional advice for free. I would just say, I will give you this advice for free because I wanted to give something back. And you find that when you give, the universe just starts bringing you things to your door. And stinginess, like being miserly and not giving your service to people, encourages stinginess. So people that are very, very stingy are always poor. They never have any money. Whereas for me, I give a lot, but I seem to get a lot. So my vision board now is really not about waiting till I've got £300,000 in the bank so I can buy the house, buy all the canal boats. My vision board now is working out what is the minimum cost of my dream. So if I wanted to live in a mansion, for example, I could go on Airbnb and I could, maybe save up and I could stay in a mansion, because you can only occupy so many rooms. You can't spread your body out around the whole mansion. So you can go to Airbnb, you can rent a house, a room in a mansion, and you can have all the experiences that you want, but you can have them for a much smaller cost than the person who owns them, and not only less cost, but less stress, because you can have the experience. If I go to a beautiful garden or a beautiful lake, while I'm there, that is my lake, it's my garden. Right now, this is my forest. I'm in my forest house. So the vision board and the dream planning does not have to be a situation that you have to wait to have it. And a lot of people are doing this. They're waiting their whole life to achieve their dreams. They're working so hard. When I get to retirement, I'm going to buy this. When I get to finish this job, or when I get this big contract out of the way, I'm going to buy this. But all the way through their lives, they could have been enjoying those experiences now. And life is now. It's not in the future, and a lot of people have waited their whole lives to get to that future, and then something's happened to them before they've even got to the end. So it's just amazing that, you know, I'm here now in my forest. I wanted a camper van, but you know, I looked at camper vans, and I looked at camper vans that were like £20,000, £40,000, and my dream was to have a camper van, but I wanted a camper van now, so I did everything in my power to get a camper van. I decided it was going to be my vehicle, so I didn't have to have a car. I decided that I'm not going to do what everyone else does and go for the VW, like go for the what everyone is doing, because what I care about is size and space. So okay, a transit van may not be glamorous to some people, but inside of this van, anything could be on the outside. It's my experience. I could be in a £50,000 camper van right now. On the inside, I'm no different to the person who has got a £50,000 camper van. Fair enough, they might have a few more gadgets than I've got, but I've got hot coffee, I've got food, I've got warmth, I've got an electric blanket, I've got electricity, I've got lighting. And my dream cost me, I think I paid about £6,000 for this van, and I probably spent about £2,000 on it. So for £8,000 I have got the camper van of my dreams, and I have it now. Whereas if I was going to save up for an amazing camper van and spend years and years and years in a miserable job trying to save up, I wouldn't have this camper van now. And I can also just go to Scotland, go to Wales, and whichever place I pull up in, that is my garden. I don't need the dream house. And I can live in a perfectly modest house and, you know, function, but I can have my dreams now. And I set my intentions to write a book, and I had to keep a list of priorities. And when you have a vision board or a dream, you have to write down what your priorities in your life are. And if you put your priorities in a list that you can look at regularly, every time you go off on a distraction, you know, you might end up on Facebook in some kind of major debate about some gossip and some story, or you may end up in some family drama or some drama with your partner, or your partner might be dragging you into their dream. Oh, why don't we do this? And then you might sacrifice your dream. When you have a list of priorities, you can keep checking, where is my head right now? Where are my priorities? And I don't know if I put my priorities in this book. I should know where my priorities are, shouldn't I? But I didn't just write a list of priorities. I wrote, what do I have to do in order to support these priorities? What actions do I need to take? So, let me see if I can find it. So, my priorities, you can see here, I've written them very bold. And I do that to just shock my mind into reminding me that I've been procrastinating. There's a word. Procrastinating, for anyone who doesn't know, just means wasting goddamn time and putting something off. So my number one priority was my book, and everything was taking me off the book. You know, I kept getting dragged into all kinds of distractions, and eventually I just forced myself down and said, you have to write this many words a week, and you must read and check and edit this many chapters. And I did that in a plan. I set myself a target, and under no circumstances was I able to go off that. And it was hard, and I did go off it. but it was just like I was being the boss of myself. And then my meditations, so I put meditations online, and this is my service to people. So my priorities are to share meditations which help people to calm down when they're stressed, help people to sleep, help people to refocus and encourage them to have self-love. So my meditations, I have to go into the studio and record them and upload them onto Insight Timer, which people listen to there for free. And then my next priority is my classes. So my classes are where I'm in the community and I get to share wonderful ideas that have helped me and that help other people, and build a community, get lots of sisterhoods going on. And my classes just fill me with so much joy, but they also support my lifestyle because they allow me to, you know, earn money and charge. And then on my other priority is for me to travel, for me to get into nature, for me to see the world and look at the things that I want. And I even went and priced a cruise. It was an around the world cruise, and it works out about £4,750 per person if 2 people are going. £4,750 to see the world, to go around the world on a luxury cruise liner. And I know that, you know, some people prefer backpacking and being earthy, but this is a cruise around the world. You can have it. You wouldn't, you know, if you had a normal job, you could save up to do that. And I've looked at ways that, you know, I can work remotely. So writing a book and doing meditations, you're working in a remote way because you're not having to be hands-on. Your work is being purchased away from you. So people that do are really successful with their YouTube channels, and people who write books, write songs, produce something amazing, they're the ones who get to experience a wonderful life, and the work is only really done that one time that they've done it. So I'm looking at ways at how I can remote work a little bit more. But the whole point of this video is that your dream life doesn't have to be when you've got X amount of money in the bank. That is an absolute illusion. You can have, if you write your dream life and you get it into perspective, because sometimes you write your whole dream life and then you realize you don't even want that anyway. You might write down that you want all these wonderful luxuries, but then realize that you don't anyway. So, but the first step, of course, is to get your dream life written down and put it in order of priority. So for me, my family and my personal experiences are my priority. This is how we need to live. We can't have the priority being money, because what is money? It's just a thing. But you don't have to be really, really stingy to have the dream things. You would be amazed at how you can get things, and you can get luxury lifestyle for very, very little money. It's just the whole concept of owning it that's wrong. Even if you wanted a camper van now, there is nothing stopping you from hiring a camper van out of season when nobody wants them, and just having it for a few weeks and feeling it, having the experience, and then just giving it back for someone else to insure and tax and look after. And then when you feel that, like, I want to go again, I want to experience the beautiful natural world, go and hire a camper van again. And then if you realize, oh, I really, really do like this and I want this, price it up. How important is your happiness? And if you can get out of the mindset that you've got to work really, really hard because you need this massive price tag, it's not true. I'm so excited about that because now I am literally doing all the things. I've been hiking in the last few days, I've been running, I'm getting fit, my book is finished, it's now being submitted to the publishers. I'm going to be recording my meditations this week. I'm in a forest. I am next to the entrance to the Forest Inn, which I'm going to move soon. It was just a nice place to stop, and I just wanted to have a coffee. But my dream life really is now, and I've been looking at maybe going around the world, and I've been looking at doing more workshops, more classes, and bringing my involvement with my family into those things so that we can interact together. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'm going to make more example videos as well. If you like this video, I would massively appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe and click the bell so that you know when I'm uploading. Now I'm living my dream life, I have more time to dedicate to sharing these videos, because I think it's important that as a society we start sharing our healthy habits with each other so that we can learn from each other and we can build a community. I don't have to know you personally to share something with you, and you don't have to know me. You can post a comment or your suggestion, and that would help me to learn from you, because there's no major expert out there. We're all in this experience of life together, so why not share kindness and love with each other? And if you have been thinking, I'm never going to get my dream life, which sometimes is how people, you know, they get to 40 or something and they just resign themselves to the fact that this is my life forever. And I just don't want that to happen to me, and I certainly don't want that to happen to anyone else. So whatever your dream life is, finance it on paper, write it down. How much does it cost? How much does it cost to own? Ask yourself the question, do you really want to own it? Write down how much would it be to rent it or lease it or hire it. How much would it be? And then ask yourself, how often in the year can you afford to indulge in these experiences? Bearing in mind, it's only experience. You know, a millionaire sitting in his forest feels the same experience as me sitting in this forest. We have the same experience. You know, maybe he's £300,000 worse off. It's cost me £10 a month to be part of, what am I part of? I'm so docile. National Trust, of course. I'm part of the National Trust. It cost me £10 a month. That's for our whole family. And I can go to National Trust places all over the country, and they're just stunning. They're beautiful. I can stay there all day. I can also go to campsites that are like, some are £5 a night, and they're in the most stunning locations. And they may be, you know, on some farmland that are in front of mountains and hills. And that farmer is grafting away, trying to make a living to pay for the land and do all the hard work. I'm experiencing that land, those mountains, for £5. It's just amazing. I just wish I knew this like 20 years ago. And it's even the same with clothing. I mean, I've never been into designer clothes, but you can hire designer clothes if you wanted to really feel like someone in some designer wear. You can hire them. You can pretty much hire anything. And I feel like the people who own loads of stuff are weighed down. They're so compressed with ownership. I know people that have got apartments abroad and apartments on the coast, and then they've got a house and they're, oh, there's a leak, I've got to go and sort it out. And yes, you can pay people to sort them out, but you actually still have to manage the people sorting things out. And then the travel to go and fix a leak, and to worry, is that property getting burgled? Are the people who are working in that property genuine and looking after me? Who wants that? Why own? I could just go to the coast and hire a beautiful house for 5 days and then give them the keys back and thank you for your wonderful experience. You know, thank the universe. What an experience. But the dream board, the vision is achievable. You can have it now. Obviously you can't have everything. Some of you might be able to have everything because some of your dream boards might be very, very small. But you can at least look on your dream board, what can you have now? And start doing the things you have now. And then what happens is the law of attraction, from the joy that you feel from doing the things that you want to do, starts to attract the other things. I mean, I'll give you an example of, I'm moving towards my workshops, my yoga classes, and giving into the community. And then just out of the blue, someone just turns up and asks me, can you do an extra private class? The things that I've given out of my own heart have started to give me back. So my classes have started to grow bigger, which helps me to support myself, feed myself. And when I look at my own cost of living, I don't cost much money. I'm just the most cheapest person on earth. When I find clothes that I like, I am like, I just don't seem to wear clothes out. I don't understand like how I could ever get a hole in or wear this dress out, because you know, I just look after my things. I value them. So I've probably had this dress for about 5 years, and lots of clothes in my wardrobe are clothes that I adore and I love them and I look good in them, and I just keep them and keep them and keep them for ages. And I always feel like I look okay, I look fine. So I don't spend a lot of money on clothes. I don't go out drinking and doing anything, you know, that costs a lot of money. And probably my biggest expense is food, because I really value what I put into my body. So I like to buy really fresh, wholesome food, but even that's not expensive because I don't eat meat, and meat is the most expensive thing in the supermarket. I don't have dairy, so I don't have all of those kind of cheesy products. So my food is kind of a combination of really big, beautiful vegetable stews and vegetable curries and chilies. And vegetables are so cheap. Rice is so cheap. Pasta is so cheap. Most expensive part of my lifestyle is probably the fruit, because I eat a lot of fruit. Fruit is expensive, but then, even then, I go to fruit warehouses, I go to the markets. I can have the dream life. Well, I have the dream life now. I understand, I get it. I feel like I've uncovered a secret. I feel like this is such an important discovery that I've made. And if you have something that you feel would benefit others, you have to share it, you have to give it. Not for anything, because I'm not selling anything, but just because you want other people to do well. You have their best interest at heart. So I'm going to have a wander now in the forest, and the reason I came to the forest today was because I was just being so bombarded externally by so many people. And what I tend to find is that there's a lot of stress in people around me, and their stress gets so out of control that the aggression and the upset starts to be directed towards me. And not just within families, but also people that are just generally stressed in the workplace, people that are in the supermarket that are throwing your shopping at you because they're so stressed. And all of this negativity starts to kind of make me feel a little bit upset. And because I work with animal rights and trying to stand up and be a voice for animals, this is a very traumatic lifestyle to be a part of, because I spend time at slaughterhouses, I spend time seeing footage of animals being murdered, and it impacts me, it upsets me, it affects me. And what starts to happen is the negativity starts to build and build and build, and then I just have times where I just feel like bursting into tears. And when I feel like that, I feel like it's my body saying, you need to take yourself away and spend some time with you. And I am the best person to comfort myself. So if I'm with someone else, they would be saying, oh, why don't you do this? Oh, cheer up. But I'm the best person to spend with myself. So I'm going to meditate. I might have a little nap. And I'm just going to really enjoy some peace to myself. And knowing that removing myself from stress is the way that I recharge my batteries, then I can go back and deal with everything again. So this is probably the longest video I've ever put out, and I hope you stuck with me till the end. If you stuck with me till the end, can you just put it in the comment that you stuck with me? Because I would just like to know that. That would make me feel like there's a community out there. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day too. Take care now. Bye bye.